Welcome back, everybody. Laptop Hound here with another quick little tutorial draft episode, trying to help some of the new players out there get a handle on drafts and perfect drafts specifically. Are you playing these perfect drafts and not doing well? Are you trying and drafting and trying some of the suggestions you're hearing on streams and just not finishing in that money round, the top 8 or the top 16? Well, I'm going to guide you through what works for me, what I'm using, some of the tips and tricks that I've picked up from some of the great players out there in Perfect Team, and hopefully guide you to a little bit more success with your drafting. So coffee is ready. Tim Hortons, baby, all the way. Let's get on and go through a draft, and I'll kind of show you my approach on how to do things, specifically with the modern kind of era drafts. I do have an episode up I made a couple weeks ago with the dead ball era. Go check it out. It's on the YouTube channel, and I'm having a lot of success with the techniques I'm using there in dead ball, specifically with the quick drafts in dead ball. All right, let's go to this one here, the rocking chair. Rocking chair is kind of a fun new perfect draft that they added a couple weeks ago, where you alternate between historical cards and live cards. I'm enjoying it, and I'm finishing okay. I finished in 5th to 8th place in one, 3rd and 4th place in another perfect draft, 5th to 8th in a live draft. So again, I don't win them all. I don't place in them all. If I place in 1 out of every 5, I consider that a success. So don't expect to do well in every single draft. There are some really good players out there that have a really high placing percentage. I'm maybe 20% of my drafts that I get a choice pack card. I tend to play the choice pack card ones more than the pack card awards, because I like having that choice of certain cards that I can sell off or that I can use for different missions. When you enter drafts, again, very quickly, you want to look over what the settings are, because that will make an impact on who you draft. And if you forget to look, when you start the draft, go up to this little draft rule button, and you can see the rules here. So we're playing in the 1977 Oakland Coliseum. Favors the left-handed BABIP hitters, and home run wise, it favors the right-handed home run hitters. So lefty BABIP, righty home run. So when you're drafting your players, you want to keep that in mind. It is the modern era, so we're using kind of the 2010 to 2020 kind of environment where there are a fair bit number of home runs. So again, lefty BABIP, righty home run. So when you're drafting pitchers, you want good lefty pitcher BABIP and good righty home run suppression pitchers. Again, it might be a lot to take in, but just little things you want to look for. It's not the only determining factor in who you choose, but it's definitely something that if you're choosing between two players, look to see which favors the settings the best. All right, so we're going for a top 8 finish, which will guarantee us a choice pack. Now, sometimes your choices are really easy in the rounds because there's just a dominant player that stands out. For me in this round, it's either Dave Bancroft or it's John Tudor. Do I want the hitter? Do I want the pitcher? Modern era, you're going to use 5 starters and either 6 or 7 bullpen guys. Always in modern era. Don't go any lower than 11. Don't go any higher than maybe 13. So 11, 12, or 13 pitchers you want. Bancroft, I really like this card because of the defense. You want strong defense for your shortstop, your center fielder, and your catcher in the modern era. So even though his bat's not the best, remember this is lefty BABIP, righty home run. So he's a switch hitter, which means I'm going to get that lefty matchup once in a while. So his BABIP's not bad at 72, not a power guy, but I'm drafting him for his defense if I take him. Now, John Tudor, again, you want someone good against the lefties for BABIP, 98, and someone good against the righties in home run. This is a strong pitcher. He is going to do well for you, but he only pitches every 5 games. In a tournament, do you want to use your first pick on someone playing every 5 games? That may or may not guarantee you the win. If Bancroft wasn't there, he would be my pick. But I'm going to take Bancroft because he's an everyday kind of player. Now we go to the live rounds. And when I do the rocking chair with these live rounds, usually I use my live round cards as relievers or guys that really stand out with really good power. And I want my historical cards to be my main players. So I'm going to look for, someone with either really high power, don't really see one, or someone for the bullpen and fill up my bullpen with live cards. Now here we've got lefty BABIP. Okay. Good against the righty home run hitters. So he may be my choice. Gaussman, no. You don't want Gaussman. Horrible. Going to give up home runs, going to give up a lot of probably singles, maybe some doubles. Not a card you want to use. And Louis Robert, again, lefty BABIP, righty home run. He's okay, but I think the strongest card for me here is Emmanuel Clase. Put him in the bullpen, solid bullpen guy. Now I could either go with a starting pitcher or someone that stands out as a hitter. Ben Ogilvy, lefty, so lefty BABIP. Yeah, home runs not as strong for the lefties, so I don't think he fits the profile here. Already got a shortstop. Bobby Thompson, lefty BABIP, righty home run. Yeah, he doesn't fit the profile either. So I think, not a lot of great choices. I think I'm going to go with a starter here, someone with really good stuff, really good control. Let's go with Preacher Row. Back to the live round. Again, we look for kind of fill-ins because the live cards aren't as productive usually as the historical cards. So these are the cards you kind of want as your fillers, maybe your backup roles for hitters or your bullpen guys or number 4 or 5 pitcher, unless someone really stands out defensive-wise. So Garcia, again, he's got good power, but his defense isn't great. Taylor Rogers, let's take a look. Home run suppression for righties is what I'm looking at, and he doesn't have that. Meadows, Bogarts, Devers. Yeah, sometimes with these live cards, you just hope and pray that they have a good tournament. So this card here, Chapman, good against the righties home run wise, good against the lefties, little bit for BABIP, but just not quite the guy I want. Same with Musgrove. So seeing no real good pitchers, I'm going to go with a utility guy. With my live card, sometimes I take a card that can play multiple positions and back up almost anywhere. Plus he's got some bat and good eye too. So I'm going to go with Ian Happ, and I'm going to go with this Garcia simply because, again, righty power, lefty BABIP. Right-handed power, lefty BABIP not as great, but he's got the power. And in modern era, you want power. Power and eye rule the day in modern era batting. Next, we go to our next historical round. So Fred McGriff has a lot of power, but he's left-handed. So this park doesn't play well to his power. He still might get the odd home run. How about Sammy Sosa? He's a righty with a lot of power. And eye is just barely where I would consider good enough to play. Just barely. So I'm going to go with Sammy Sosa with the power. And let's take a look at some of our starters here. So righty home run suppression, which is really good. Not going to give up a lot of home runs to righties, which I want. So he's a favorite right now. Same with this card, Willard Schmidt. In fact, I like him better overall. Again, draft rules favors lefty BABIP a bit and righty home run a bit. Not much. I mean, it's almost neutral. But that little bit of an edge in the players you choose that are stronger in those areas may just give you that Game 7 win that you need. So Schmidt and Sosa are going to be the two here. All right, back to my live round. So again, looking for utility guys that can come off the bench, play lots of positions, or the odd pitcher with good home run and BABIP. Home run's not bad for Alex Cobb. I do need starters. I've only got 2, and I don't want to take a lot of bronze starters if I can help it. Nola, not so much. Also, lives are good to take for catchers sometimes if you find a catcher with really good defense. I don't see any here. How about this reliever? Not great. So I'm going to take that one that I saw. I believe it was Alex Cobb. Yeah, Cobb. See if I can find a reliever with good pitcher BABIP or home run suppression in the right handedness. Not seeing much. Zach Johnson. And how about Vasquez? Okay, Vasquez got good home run suppression for a live card, so I'm going to take 2 pitchers that round. So again, historical players, try to get your power bats, try to get your good eye guys, your good defense guys, and live cards, try to fill in, your bench guys, your utility guys that maybe can play multiple positions, and pitchers that fit the category for that ballpark. So what do I need? I need a first base, second base, third base. Need a lot of infielders. All right, so lefties with BABIP. Here's a lefty with BABIP. Not very good defense, though. Bob Ferguson is one of the best defenders in the game for silver cards, so definitely going to take him. He can play second base, and Giambi is a lefty, so his home run's not going to play a big role. Maybe a pitcher? How is Bonderman? And yeah, you got 20 minutes. You got a lot of time. So here's Bonderman with good home run suppression against the righties. Not very good BABIP, though, so he is going to give up a lot of singles, doubles, triples, but not a lot of home runs. And how about Nunez? Yeah, Nunez I like. Look at that. Strong against the righties, and BABIP's okay against the lefties. All right, so a pitcher and an infielder. And again, Ferguson, we right-click on his name, and we can move him to second base. Okay, pitchers for live. Good pitcher BABIP. Good utility guy. I just hate giving up those late inning home runs. So relievers, home run suppression for me for relievers, I'd rather give up a single than a home run. For my relievers anyway. Nestor Cortez, how are you, sir? No. Nothing worse than leading the game, your relievers come in and they give up a home run. Now, Verdugo, I think I'm going to take him because he's got okay batting, but he's a guy that can play all 3 outfield positions. And again, I want my live cards to be my bench guys. So we're going to take him, and I think we're going to go with Tristan McKenzie. Next up, keep an eye on your catchers. I still need 2, 5 more to go because they show usually 10. And a Chipper Jones, not really a third baseman, but he's a righty Switch hitter. Yeah, I'm going to go with Chipper here. And I just like this Emilio card, just because, again, his utility and his BABIP. So Emilio and Chipper. Next up, okay, so maybe I grab a catcher here. Who's good, got power and defense? So right-handed power I want. Right-handed power. And defense can also play first base. Okay, Christian Benthacourt. All right, let's see if I can pick up another bullpen arm. We're into the bronze rounds now, so you're not going to get outstanding live players in the bronze rounds. So again, maybe grab a utility guy. Brad Miller. He's a lefty, though, with power. I want a righty with power. Righty with power. Where are you? Not really any here. So I'm going to go with the defender, someone that can play all areas of the infield, second, third, short. Pretty good defense. And the bat's not the worst one out there. So Peraza, you are on the team. So I've got 7 pitchers. I want 12. So I need 5 more pitchers. I do need a first baseman, a DH. So right-handed power is my priority. Right-handed power for my DH. There's a right-handed catcher, so it's a possibility. We're going to mark him. And no one else here has power. So then I think I go pitcher. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at that home run suppression against the righties. BABIP's pretty good. Over 70. How about Wilbur Wood? Better with the BABIP. Okay against the home runs. I think I'm going to go with Danny Cox here. Although Wilbur Wood's a good option. So now we have 5, 6, 8 pitchers. Need 4 more. 2 more rounds to go. Still need a first baseman and a DH. Does anyone here have power as a righty? Yes. David Villar. Kyle Schwarber. Oh, you're a lefty. Be a perfect if he was a right-handed hitter. Seth Beer? No. Give me a power guy. All right, no power, so let's check in quickly on the pitchers and who has the best BABIP and or home run suppression. No. No one really stands out, so I'm going to take the best of the worst, I guess. Take a lefty. Last round, 5 cards in this round. Still need 3 pitchers. So that's my priority. 3 pitchers. Let's take a look at all of them and take the best 3. Pitcher BABIP's good for him. You're probably going to be one of the 3. Home run suppression, really good for Bob Gibson. You're part of the team. And so far, Lorenzen. No, not this guy. No. Do not, under any circumstance, draft this guy for your team. Okay, a couple more to look at. Oh, I think so. I think I like that home run suppression. Both are good. Who has the better BABIP? I think Shovel does barely. Okay, there's my 3 pitchers. That will give me 12. Now I'm looking for a center fielder and first base DH. Center fielder, although I'm going to go with Taylor. And not many cards to choose from for a DH here. DH role. I guess you can play second and short, so you are the selection. All right. Team is now drafted. So I'll show you a couple other things that I do once I have my team drafted. I go and I just go ask bench coach for staff, see kind of where they place everything. Now, because of the ballpark, lefty BABIP, right-hand home run suppression, I want my starters to be fairly good at both. Yeah, that's kind of where I would put everyone. I don't like a lot of setups. I do like to use a lot of middle relief, set them all to normal usage with no secondary. Your long relief guys are usually your worst guys. So someone like Shovel, Bob Gibson, definitely long relief, although you can put them on normal and just give them kind of a mop-up role. I have a couple mop-up guys. Kind of want to, put guys in pairs. So your two best guys for stoppers, Class A, and let's see, who else? Probably Nunez as my two stoppers, and the other guy's middle relief. Now, for your starters, what you should do, just go through for your 5 starters. So Preacher, Willard, Tristan, Alex, and Tyler. Go into your strategy and set the aggressive hook. That way you don't have to set pitch counts on them, and the game should take them out once they start getting tired. So who am I missing? Willard and Alex Cobb. I think we got them all here. All right. And again, I don't spend time on the individual sliders because that just takes a lot of time when you enter a lot of drafts. However, if you go to your overall strategy, there are some things I do. I usually set this number between 90 and 95, and this number here about 70 or 71. Now for modern era, crank down the running right to the very end. Base running, I add a little bit of base running. Hit and run I have fairly low. Sacrifice, kind of in the orange area. So all of these top categories I have fairly low. Pitch around, leave it in the middle. Intentional walk, maybe move down a little bit. Hold runners you can leave. And for your defensive positioning, I like to crank up my shifts. And then at the bottom, I like my starters to go as long as they can because they're usually my better pitchers. And same with my better relievers. Now, by better relievers, what you want to do is take your non-stoppers and give them use more often. So for me, I think Danny Cox is the only guy I want to use more often. There we go. If you have a real outstanding stopper, you can go high leverage. We're going to put Class A as high leverage. But I don't use setup guys in my modern tournaments. Now going back to the strategies, again, if you want, you can micromanage. I like to kind of boost these down. I want my best players in a tournament. If this was seasonal play, league play, I might have these a little higher, but in tournaments, you want your best players. And when they get tired, when they hit this threshold, then someone will come in for them. But otherwise, I don't want to pinch hit for my best players because my bench guys usually aren't that strong. And if you want, you can set your late inning strategies too. For example, sometimes I'll go in and my 9th inning, I don't want my pitchers in as long because they're probably getting pretty tired. So I crank those down a little bit in the 9th inning. And even with the 8th inning, I'll probably bring them down a bit. 7th and 8th inning. That's about all I do for my strategies. And from there on in, you can go and you can adjust your lineups if you want. I like to have my high BABIP guys kind of at the top of the lineup. So Emilio, You know what? Unfortunately, I like defense, though. So Bancroft, you can adjust by speed if you want to. You can play around. Home run power, I like as my number 3, 4, 5 guys. Especially remember my right-handed batters. The power for the righties. So Sosa, Garcia, Jones, they should kind of be your top of the order guys. Yeah, I like that. All right, I think we're going to go with that. Hopefully this team will do well and finish in the money round, the top 8 to get one of those choice pack cards. If you have any other question, guys, if you want to see other videos, other tutorials, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're struggling with, what you might need a little bit of advice on. I'm not an expert. I take my information from other great players out there and try to pass on to you guys a few helpful tips. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. If we all knew exactly what the best way to play the game was, we'd all be coming first place in all these tournaments. We do the best we can. So again, leave a comment, leave a like. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next episode. Check out my Montreal Draft to Glory series. If you haven't watched that, go watch it from the beginning. It would mean a lot to me. Thanks, guys. See you next episode.